good interview though. We talked about their plays. We went over some of my clips and stuff, good and bad. Just to see how I see the game.
Don't be afraid to speak your mind. That's that.
Have you met with the Detroit Lions yet? Was it formally, informally?
Formally.
What pops in your mind when you think about possibly playing under Dan Campbell?
You know, he reminds me a lot of Coach Heatherman. You know, very intense. So it'd be amazing to play under him.
So it's been a lot of linebackers talking about they met with the Detroit Lions at the Combine. I just been seeing the stuff on Twitter. Shout out to everybody who's spitting out the shit on Twitter. Shout out to everybody who holding it down on Twitter. So I'm really living through the Combine best on Twitter. It is what it is. I had YouTube TV. I could have known for the NFL season, but I ain't doing that no more. But I'm not gonna divulge how I watch the games. But yeah, man, YouTube TV more expensive than cable now. It's crazy, right? But yeah, you know, you see the linebacker, you know, they going linebackers, you know, Rodriguez a free agent. What is going on here? Oh, road work. I don't know why people see, I guess people got to get over. When people see something on the side of the road, they keep putting these Oreo cookies over these cracks. You know, it was just real talk, real facts right here, right? So some years ago, I forget how many years ago this was, right? About the Detroit roads. You want to know how I know it's a scam? There was a particular German guy, a German engineer who they came, I don't know the dude's name, I believe he was German. He came over there and he studied Detroit roads, and he told Detroit the type of pavements they need for it to last. What they need to do, whatever the material they needed to use. And it probably was expensive, right? But then you think about it, when you nickel and dime something like they do in a construction industry on the road, you end up spending more money. You end up spending more money nickel and dime, and they could have fixed the roads, and they didn't. They didn't do what he said do. They didn't want to spend the money. And the roads keep fucked up. And also another issue with the roads as well too, for people who don't understand it. Another issue with the roads is just to the fact that they use salt. You know, if you don't know, one of Detroit's top resources that it produces is salt. It's a salt game. So when you guys, you know, salt tear the roads up, but we just have the resource. It's free. We don't have to, spend extra money. So they keep using salt that tear down the roads. But there you have it, right? But back to the linebackers. You know, they got rid of Rodrigo. Alizoni might be gone. You know, people talking about they need speed at the linebacker. They too slow. I don't really care. I think it started to get exposed. I believe it started to get exposed, if we being honest, when their safeties went out. You know, when a lot of the linebackers started to have to cover man-to-man coverage a little bit more, cover the running back, because usually, you know, Kirby, him on the back end, he was a no-fly zone. Then when you talk outside of him on the back end, you have BB who can man up people. So that took some of the linebackers' responsibilities to guard some of the top guys. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. But, you know, they need more speed in the front seven. I think getting an athletic linebacker that can run and cover it, and being able to be athletic and do some of the football things, it don't always mean you got to be fast. You know, remember we had one of the greatest Madden players that ever was, Taylor Mays. He was fast, hit hard, he can catch pick, but he couldn't play football in real life. He couldn't cover in real life. He couldn't play football. You know, he looked the part, but he couldn't play. So obviously you want somebody that be able to play, and being able to cover is not just about speed. It's about technique, leverage, you know, getting your hands where they need to be at, reading defenses, being able to process defenses, all that type of stuff. So when we start having those conversations, it's not just about athleticism, but last year the Lions did a great job of covering up their deficiency for a lack of speed defensively. They did a great job. However they fixed it, they did it with what they had. People keep talking about the defense is bad. The defense is not bad. The defense got a lot of talent. All it boiled down to is injuries. It's always injuries. So everybody in the Detroit defense, dog, they consistently miss major players. Before football snapped last year, Enrique went down. Pascal went down. Two guys that you was counting on last year for depth. Two guys that you were counting on for depth last year. You know, Elaine McNeil was already down. Michael Rodriguez was already down. Kirby went down. Late in the year, BB went down. So when we start having these conversations, dog, it boils down to injuries. Everybody just wants to say, defense was trash. No, it wasn't trash. Go to the root cause. What's causing all these injuries? That's what you got to go to. But the linebackers, I mean, yeah, it's probably time. You're going to roll with Barnes, but you're going to get this rookie. And it takes some time, especially when you look at a linebacker to come in and play middle linebacker, which they already got. It just takes time to learn to play linebacker. About 2 years, you start to see a middle linebacker settle in. On the outside, it ain't that much responsibility. You know what I mean? But still, it takes time. So you like to that's why you don't really see linebackers, middle linebackers or traditional 3-down linebackers. This is why you don't really see them. This is why you really don't see them get drafted highly. Because it's going to take about 2 or 3 years for them to get where they need to get at. That's a fact. But yeah, I think that's something they look at. You're going to probably look at middle round. They trade, David Montgomery and get a middle round pick if they do that. Or get I think they possible to get one compensatory pick. Take a linebacker. When you start talking about safeties, linebackers, you can get them outside the first round and find really, really good ones. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, that's a need. That's a need. But only time will tell. So they can do all this homework, and how the NFL work is this. They do all this homework on these guys. A pass rusher from Ohio State who had 11 sacks, white kid. They'd be looking at them, talking to them, and then they draft multiple guys. Right, that they didn't even talk to. They didn't visit. They didn't talk to them. They didn't do nothing. They didn't talk to them. Didn't visit them. Didn't holler when you see them. Didn't be linked to them. Nothing. And they go draft those guys. So, just because they have, I talked to him multiple times, and then they draft a guy. You be like, damn, they didn't even talk to them. So a lot of times they try to throw people off in the draft and try to hide their hand and be secretive. And then multiple teams do this. So they may not draft a linebacker. They may draft one high. They may draft one in the mid rounds. They may draft one in the second. Who knows? Last year most people consider that a failure, but it only can tell 2 or 3 years. Every draft pick ain't gonna be a superstar home run. So, but hey, man, let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. You get all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live and drop video. I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Like I said, say find me everywhere. Hit that link. You can legitimately find me everywhere on that link. X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.